This chapter talks about a couple of things. Number one, it talks about the division of the land amongst the Shvatim. In the times of Yeshua, it was divided by a raffle, and there were some tribes that got more, some tribes that got less. But in the time of the third Beis Hamikdash, there's going to be 13 portions, and it's going to be exactly equal, 75 mil from north to south, and then however much from east to west it goes from the sea to the land that's part of Israel. And this chapter specifically talks about the 13th portion, which is Chelik HaKodesh, the holy portion, which in it has the portion of the Kohanim, the portion of the Levi'im, and a portion that belongs to all of the Jewish people, for all the Jewish people have a portion in Jerusalem. And on the sides of that, there's going to be the Chelik HaNasi, the portion of the nasi, either Mashiach or the Kohen Gadol. And in the portion of the Kohanim, there is a 500 by 500 amos, which is the place of the Beis Hamikdash. The parak is also going to talk about this, that we have to be just and fair, and therefore it describes what kind of weights we're going to have for different types of measurements, and it also discusses the inauguration of the third Beis Hamikdash. Just like there was the inauguration of the Mishkan, so too there are specific korbanos, specific sacrifices that were brought to inaugurate the third Beis Hamikdash, which lasted for 190 days, which obviously is besides the regular korbanos like the Tamid or the Yom Tiv sacrifices which one had to bring. And when you're going to allot the land as an inheritance, and exactly how it's going to be allotted, we explained in the introduction, it's very different than the way it was in the times of Joshua. But the exact numbers we're going to talk about in chapter 48, and I gave a little bit of that in the introduction. And we say, Tarimut Truma Lashem, you should set aside a Truma, Kodesh Min Aretz, it should be holy from the land. So one portion of that is going to be holy. Eirech Hamish of Asim Aleph, its length is 25,000 Eirech long, Bereicha Asar Aleph, and wide 10,000. And this is referring, and the measurement which we're measuring is the Kohanim, which every Kohanim has 6 cubits, 6 amos. And we say Kodesh B'chol Gvul Saviv, and this whole area is holy in all its boundaries all around, and it has an increased level of sanctity than the other parts of Israel, which are of course holy as well. Now here Mizal Kodesh, from this portion of holy land, there should be 500 by 500 Ruba Saviv square around, which is the place of the Beis Hamikdash. And there was 50 amos around the Migresh Le Saviv. There was 50 amos of open space around it for extra beauty. When Amida Zois, from this holy portion, Tamid you should measure Eirech Hamisha Besim Aleph. Its length was 25,000 of these 6 amos. These Kohanim Vereicha V'Seres Alafim, and its width was 10,000. Vaya Mikta Hamikdash Kodesh Kodashim, and in it should be the place of the Beis Hamikdash, which is holy of holies. Now we said before that a part of it was for the Beis Hamikdash, and as you can see in the picture, and it's very similar to the last picture we had in the previous slide, is that there was this 500 by 500 square with the open space around it, but the rest of that 10,000 by 25,000 is the portion of the Kohanim. So Kodesh Me'aretzu, the Kohanim should be for the Kohanim. Misharsi HaMikdash Yah, they serve in the Beis Hamikdash. Akrevim come close to Sharis Hashem, to serve Hashem. and it should be a place for the houses. Hamikdash, Hamikdash, and it should also has a place which is holy for the Beis Hamikdash, which, as we said before, is referring to this middle square of 500 by 500. Now there was an additional Chamisha v'esim elef, 25,000 oirech long, and 10,000 wide. Levi'im, it should be for the Levites. B'shar sebais to serve in the Beis Hamikdash. The hem la'chuzah should be for a portion. Esim l'shachis, 20 chambers. This was that they should have chambers that should be closer to the portion of the Kohanim. As we could see that the portion of the Levi'im was a little more south, a little lower, so they should be closer and to the Beis Hamikdash. And of course, in the rest of that portion, they could build houses to live in. Now on the southern strip, Vachuza Seir, portion of the city, Titanu should give 5,000 wide, which is from north to south, and 25,000 wide. This is alongside the holy portion, and this should be for all of the Jewish people, for every one of the tribes has a portion in the holy city of Jerusalem. Nasi, and for the prince, which refers either to Mashiach or to the Kohen Gadol, Mizeh, from this side or from that side, the Sumas HaKodesh, for the holy portion, Lachuz Seir, and for the possession of the city, which refers to both the portion of the Kohanim and Levi'im, and the portion which the other tribes were able to live in Yerushalayim, Sumas HaKodesh, which faces the holy portion of Lachuz Seir, and the faces the possession of the city, the portion of the other tribes. We pass Yama from the western side until the sea, and pass Kedma from the eastern side, Kadima, till the eastern border. V'orech and its length, Umois Echad HaChalakim is like that of one of the portions, Mikbul Yam, from the west, Akvul Kadima, until the eastern portion. That means the portion, if you look at the picture, it goes until the sea, and that's not equal to sea. So it's the place to more north have less, the place to more south have more, and then it goes to the easternmost border. That's the portion of the nasi. He should have land which should be a portion to him in the Jewish people. And then there will be no temptation for him to extort my nation, as kings of Israel in the past have done. And the rest of the land is a portion to the different tribes, and it's described in chapter 48 how this works, that it's exactly equal. This is what Hashem says, it's too much for you, princes of Israel. Set aside the lawlessness, and do justice and righteousness. Stop evicting my nation from the land. This is the word of Hashem. Now we're gonna give different. We're gonna make sure that the measurements that we use are exact and there's no cheating. Moiznik tzedek, the scales should be fair. Ve'efas tzedek, which refers to to something that we measure dry things with, that should be fair, that should be honest. The vas tzedek, and something which we measure liquid should be fair and honest. Yilachem should be to you. All these things should be honest. Now we're going to explain how much each portion is. Ha'efa v'abas, this that you measure the dry stuff with, which is called an ephah, and the bas, which we measure the liquid, toichen echad yad, should be one measurement. And what's the measurement? Lasis maser chomer habas, and the bas should contain 1/10 of a chomer, which a chomer is a measurement which is 30 saw, which was a common measurement in those days. And so too, Basiris Chomer Ha'efa. Ha'efa should be a tenth of a Chomer, which a whole Chomer is 30 saw, so a tenth of a Chomer is going to be 3 saw. While a Chomer Yemaskunte, and the measurement should be according to the Chomer, which means that if they decide that the Chomer goes up in weight or goes down in weight, then accordingly the Bas and the Ephah also change accordingly. This was all for the different measurements, the different vessels that they would measure liquids and solids. Let's say they wanted to sell some oil or some sugar, they would use only these measurements which were certified. Now we're going to go into the money. Shekel, which was a common currency those days, Esem Gera was 20 Gera or Ma, and we would make 3 different measurements. To be Esim Shkolim, one was 20 Shkolim, Chamisha Esim Shkolim, 25 Shkolim, and Asar V'Chamisha Shekel, 15 Shkolim. So we have these different measurements, and these three measurements together, the 15, the 25, the 20, altogether comes out that's 60 Shkolim. And 60 shkolim have in each shekel there's 4 zuzim, so altogether that's 240 zuzim. And according to that, a mana yelachem, there's something called a mana, which is a big coin worth a lot, and the mana of kodesh was 240 zuzim, because ordinary mana is 100 zuz. Talmud, we always know that, and Shal Kodesh, the Holy One, is 200, and we're saying over here that Yecheskel is coming, and he added another 40, so the mana is 240 zuz. Now it talks about this, that we are going to separate a portion for Hashem from all our stuff, from all our different things that we have. Zoisa Truma, this is the portion Asha Tarimu, which we're going to set aside. Shishi Sa'efa Michomer Achitim. So from a chomer of wheat, which is 30 saw, we're going to bring a sixth of an ephah, which is half a saw, which is 160th. You should also take a sixth of an ephah, mechomer hasoirim, from a chomer of barley as well. So from wheat and from barley, we take a 60th. V'choik hashemen, and the law of oil, abas, which is a certain measurement that we use for liquid, which we mentioned earlier. Hashemen, and with this we measure oil. So for oil, we take meiser, a tenth, a bas min akor, 1 bas, which is 3 soim, from a core which is 30 soim. Aseres abatim chomer, and every core, every chomer has 10 of these measurements, which is called a bas. Ki aseres abatim chomer, because even when Mashiach comes, there's still going to be 10 batim for a chomer. Now we're talking about sheep, sa'achas, and 1 sheep in that same from the sheep, in a Masayim Yimashka Yisrael, so from 200, so 1 from 200, from literally what the people of Israel drink, which a meal is called on what you drink, because that's the what people look forward to in a meal, the drink. So the meal. So from what the people of Israel eat, basically, we take this portion, and it could be brought as either a mincha offering or an oila or a shlamim. This is either burnt or a peace offering. And this is brought as an atonement. This is the word of Hashem. all the nation of the land, should be for this portion. The nasi b'Yisrael, this includes the prince. He's also obligated in this sacrifice. Nasi, and on the prince, will be upon him, the burnt offerings, and the meal offerings, and the libations, the festivals, the Rish Chodesh, Shabbos, and Shabbos, and all the festivals. He's going to do the sin offering and the meal offering, and the burnt offering, the shlomim, and the peace offering, the chaperbat, so to atone for the people of Israel. Now, this next part talks about the inauguration of the Beis Hamikdash, and we already spoke before in chapter 43 about the 7 days before Rosh Chodesh Nisan, which they had special sacrifices which were similar to what they did in the Mishkan, but of course, as we explained, they weren't exactly the same. And now this part is starting from Rosh Chodesh Nisan, which there are other unique korbanos, and they're going to go for until Tishrei, for 190 days, and we're going to see how they're going to change. And Koyamar Hashem Alikim, this is what Hashem said, Berishim Echad HaChodesh, in the first day, the first of the month, Tikach Parben Bakar, you should take an ox, Tomim, complete, without a blemish, V'chetesas HaMizbeach, and you get to purify, V'chetesas HaMikdash, and you get to purify Beis Hamikdash. The Kohen is going to take Midam HaChatas from the blood of the sin offering, and he puts it to the doorpost of the house, which refers to the Heichel, the sanctuary. And he puts it in the four corners of the altar. He puts it on the doorposts of the gates of the inner courtyard, which is the Azara. And this is going to go until the 7th of the month, which means all of the 7 days, continuing this offering every day, and putting it on the four corners and the doorpost. Mish Shoigo Mi Pesi, and this is to atone if we did something without knowing. And this is going to purify and going to atone for the Beis Hamikdash. And now the people of Israel are going to be without any sins. And now, although we're doing the unique sacrifices, the pasuk is telling us, but nevertheless, the usual sacrifices, for example, the Pesach, Barisha, we still do. Barisha Mabas Yom Chodesh, in the first month, which is Nisan, on the 14th day, which is Pesach. Yechel Lechem Pasach, there's going to be Pesach. Chag Shavuos Yamim, should be a festival of 7 days. Matzah Yachol, and you eat matzah. We also nasi b'yemahu, and the prince is going to do on that day. V'adei v'ad kol ha'aretz, for him and for everyone in the land, parchatos, a sin offering, special for the inauguration. Shivas ve'achag, and on the 7 days, besides for the regular sacrifices, Yasa Oil Hashem, he should do a burnt offering for the inauguration again. Shivas Parim, Shivas Elim, Tmim Mayim, 7 oxen and 7 rams, unblemished every day. Shivas Hayamim, every of the 7 days. Bechat Sir Izim Mayim, and 1 goat sin offering every day. So it comes out that throughout Pesach there is 49 oxen, 49 rams, and 7 goats that were going to be sacrificed. Now there's also going to be a meal offering, a mincha, which comes with the sacrifices, is ephah lapar, is an amount of ephah, which is a certain amount for every ox. The ephah l'ayil, yasa, and so too you do an ephah for every ram. The shemen hin the ephah, and you bring oil, which has the measurement of a hin, for every ephah of meal offering. And for example, on every day of Pesach, we're bringing 14 of these ephahs of flour and 14 hins of oil with these korbanos. And now we're saying Bashavi on the 7th month, which is Tishrei, on the 15th day, which is the first day of Sukkot, to the month, and the festival, Yasak Shivas Yomim, you should do like this 7 days. That means every day of Sukkot, you continue with these sacrifices to inaugurate the Beis Hamikdash, Chatos for the sin offering, Ka'ila for the burnt offering, Chamincha like the meal offering, the Chashamen, and so too for the oil which we bring with the sacrifices. And obviously, the korbanos of Sukkot themselves is done as the Torah explicitly tells us how many korbanos to do for that. So this is in addition to the regular korbanos.